Okay, welcome everybody. Today is June 20, 2020. Nice set of numbers there. I'm Kosta, and I want to welcome everyone to the People's Love Alliance and Disclosure Movement webinar. Many of you know me from the ETLetsTalk community, and as well, I know a lot of you from correspondence all over social media. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Whether it's morning, noon, or night for you, I appreciate you showing up. We are a community, and the purpose of these webinars, which I hope to be doing monthly, is to bring us together as a community to share information, share our stories, ask questions of me or of other people, and in general, just act like a big, happy global ET contacting family, and because that is really what we are, and that's what I really want to stress is this is informal. I'm happy to see your smiling faces if you want to go with video, and if you don't, that's okay too. But I want everyone to just relax and enjoy this and think of it as a as a conversation that we're all having together in one huge living room. I'm literally in my living room, and you probably all are in a lot of different places. So again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see how this goes moving forward. I have several things that I want to be doing today. First of all, I'll just give you a list of what's on my mind that I'll be talking about. I'll be starting with the Global CE5 initiative, which, as you know, is happening tonight. Today's the 24-hour period, June 20th. Then I'll be following that with, let's see my schedule. We'll be having a meditation, a really brief alignment here online to join ourselves with our global teams that are doing the Global CE5 this morning, this afternoon, and tonight. As you know, that's a 24-hour period, so because of all the time zone differences, people are making their contact at all hours of the day. So we'll be doing that meditation just to align with our groups. And then after that, I'll be just giving you a little bit of an update about the People's Disclosure Movement and the People's Love Alliance, just some information that I find through my research and some thoughts I have on what those are and how they're going. And like I said, some new information that I hope you find useful. After that, we'll just get right to some questions and answers. And at that point, I'll be asking you to share any ET contact story, maybe the best experience that you've had that you want to share with everybody, or ask me a question, or also share some good news. I'll be talking more about the Good News Every Day effort that's part of the People's Love Alliance later. So in the question and answer period, it's the opportunity for all of us to share on, a bunch of different topics and to get to know one another. So I encourage people not to be shy, but to think of this as an opportunity to see the smiling faces of people that you might only know by their email, or get a chance to ask me questions and find out more about our community. So let's see, without further ado, and I never understood what that meant, further ado. Like, is there something that's ado and then you have a further ado? Just some thoughts out there. If anybody can enlighten me, please send me an email. I'm being silly, but that's all part of this. I want everyone to be silly and comfortable, because we'll be doing more of these. So about the Global CE5 initiative, we've been doing that for 10 years now. This October will close our 10th year of doing these monthly ET contact events. There's a story behind them, which I'll tell a little bit later about how and why this Global CE5 initiative came about. But just know that for 10 years, we've been building a group field of welcome and invitation for our star friends. And believe me, they have told me that this has been powerful in raising the consciousness and in helping further the day when they meet us more fully in person, what I call full open contact. So the Global CE5 initiative is today. And as you know, I'm always sending emails and asking people to let me know where they are, participating from and how many people, et cetera, just so we can all get an idea of how many of us there are and where we are. It's really a nice thing to understand that we really are a global family, and there's a lot more power in that. The people who have contacted me, and it's only a fraction of the people who actually do this, but what I do know is that for today, this Global CE5 Initiative Contact, we have 252 total ET contact sites that have reported in, which comprises 15 countries and 22 USA states. And again, I say that that's only a partial list because, you know, it's a hassle to have to send emails or notify. And so some people do that, and I appreciate that. And some people don't, but as long as they're there doing the contact, then it's all great. So thank you all for showing up for doing that, whether you're doing it solo or with your teams. Now, one thing that I've always stressed over the years, the real goal of us doing this contact, it's not just the lights in the sky, although I'm the first person who, even after all these years and many, many experiences, I still get excited by that, and I make no apologies because I know that those lights just represent a being or a consciousness that is making them move and do things and go about their business, so that we're aware of it. So it's not just some abstract light, it really represents a life or group of lives there that are acknowledging us when they show up. And I like to say also that the lights in the sky thing is important because though many of us differ in our perceptual abilities, some people are telepathic, some people clairaudient, clairvoyant, have better hearing than others, etc. One thing that is really in common to nearly all of us is our physical sight. So the lights in the sky are a generic, general, complete way for everybody in a group to have the same experience at the same time when they spot the lights and they get excited and they follow them. The other modes of contacting with our ET friends, like telepathy and otherwise, will be available to some who've developed that ability. They might be available as clairaudient hearing things, which I get. I hear the ET voices, and so on and so on. So those kinds of experiences are not yet universal, but the lights, the physical eyes, really are. And that's why lights in the sky are important. But having said that, I've been encouraging people all these years to develop these other senses, to use their telepathy, develop their other psychic senses, because those ways are legitimate and creative for our friends to contact us with. And they do that. I hear the stories all the time and all over the world that they use all these different contact means. And that's important and it's exciting, and that is the wave of the future. I encourage people to form their own opinion about things, not to take my word for anything I say today, but to check in with their own higher source of spiritual information and see if it resonates or not. As well, when they make contact, I encourage people to form their own relationships. Don't listen to me telling you what's going on. Find a willing ET group or individual being and form that relationship telepathically or otherwise and get your own information. They are wanting that for us to reach out in that way and are willing to meet us. So as part of my encouragement of you all doing that, forming these relationships on your own, I want to give you all a message that was sent to me by our ETLetsTalk community member and my friend Debs Buller. Some of you may know her. She has a relationship with a group called the Star Teachers, and you may have gone to webinars and seen Debs and them talk. But today they have a message, and I want to thank Debs for providing this, that they want to give to all of us. I'm going to read this because it's rather long and my memory isn't good enough to memorize all this. So pardon me while I do that, but it's a message to our group. And I want you all to take it to heart and see how that resonates with you. They say, "Hello, we are the Star Teachers. We are here to bring you a very important message. We wish to tell you the happy news that you have already accomplished that which you are striving for, longing for, wishing for, to make that quantum leap in ascension from the lower vibration of third dimensional life to 5D and beyond. How do we know you've done this? Because we are you, having accomplished this and evolved to live happily in these higher frequencies. We now reach through the veil of forgetfulness to the dense, slow-moving third dimension to help to remind you that you have already ascended, to give you a hand up. The only thing you need to do now is to begin to let go of the fear and associated negative emotions that hold you down to the ground like a hot air balloon trapped to the earth by restraining ropes and heavy sandbags, allowing yourself to release from attachment to anything that causes you fear, anxiety, stress, and negativity. This will allow you to lift above and beyond the third density, beyond that to a life that most beings in the cosmos are now fully and harmoniously living. Our advice for you is to stay laser focused on living a life of harmony, peace, goodwill, coherence, and unity like us. Consciously be the example of that which you wish the world to become. Once you have done this and sustained it in your focus, you will be able to live as we live. Each of you has individual and personal life signatures, soul signatures, and yet, once you are able to perceive life in the higher frequencies, and you've already begun or you would not be listening to these words right now, you will find that it is much more pleasing to be coherent with a group of light-hearted beings such as ourselves. You will always retain your uniqueness, your special gifts, but you will be able to work more concertedly with each other to use these gifts in a most harmonious way for a pleasant, divine, and beautiful life. You might ask, how do we release from fear? How do we break through the dimensional barrier and sustain focus on this happier life? And we tell you the easiest way is to foster and deepen your meditation practice. However you meditate, it's up to you, whether it is sitting in the stillness with eyes closed, watching your breath, going within deeper and deeper, or perhaps you enjoy walking in nature, composing music, creating art, or being of service to others. All these activities, including dance, drumming, chanting, yoga, Tai Chi, or any of the other soft or gentle arts, will help you to get into that flow state. This may also be called the state of 0 point, quote unquote, where you become one with the universe, the multiverse, the infiniverse. Even a small taste of that drop of peaceful nectar will propel you into much more focus on this activity. The more you practice, however you practice, the more sustained your focus will be until one day, very soon, you will awaken to a beautiful new reality. You will realize that you have always been one of us and that you live most of your focused awareness in this reality. You only choose to focus on the Earth School in 3D for purposes of exploration, increased learning, and of course, to be of service to others. We encourage you to be grateful for everything, to seek even the smallest spark of good in all people and in all situations. Focus your attention on that spark of good. Send love to it, expand the love, and soon you will find that you have ascended. Remember, you have already accomplished this. We are you on this other frequency, and we enjoy life as most other beings do, free from duality, karmic patterning, negativity, fear, and all that comes with it. And so we encourage you to join us. We are the Star Teachers in Lakesh. We are another you. I find these words really encouraging, especially in these challenging times. And I won't go into that detail. We know what these challenging times are. Just close your eyes, throw a stone, and you will find a challenge that we're undergoing. But the idea is that we can break through by working together. We can positively transform. Further messages we've received from our star friends have asked us to not be in victimhood, not to concentrate on what's been done to us. Yeah, lots of evil things have been done across the centuries, but now is the time to, yes, acknowledge that, but not give it any more power. Instead, we are asked to look towards the future, to join with one another and create the future that we want with our thoughts, our words, our actions, and to unify with each other. So that is really what I want to let be the overall theme for the work that we are doing. It's really about the golden age that we do want to create, and it is in our hands. We can choose to feed the fear or feed the positive future. So again, I want to thank the STAR teachers for that message. And now, just for a few minutes, I'm going to turn off my video. You don't have to turn off yours, but I would like all of you to close your eyes and just join me for several minutes. I will do a guided alignment meditation to bring us all together. So let's get on with that. Close your eyes. Get comfortable in whatever position you find yourself. Take 3 deep breaths. Still your thoughts and emotions. From the base of your spine, send down a grounding cord through the surface of the earth, down to the center of the earth, to Mother Earth, and meet her there and join. Send your energy down there to her through your grounding cord. And watch as she returns the energy up, 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 and completes a loop with you. In the same way, from your crown chakra, send a cord to the center of the universe, to Father Sky. Send your energy up there, up, up, within, within. And then feel the response as it comes back to you and creates a loop there. You are now the sum total of infinity. You are connected with Father Sky and Mother Earth. Visualize now all of the people who are not only on this broadcast, but the groups around the world, and imagine a huge, huge virtual circle. Put your focus on your heart and send your heart energy to connect with each and every person who is here. Imagine the energy circulating in this circle from heart to heart, speeding up, becoming powerful and cohesive, uniting everyone in group unity. And also, now imagine the Earth from space, where all these groups are gathered today for the Global CE5 initiative. They're gathered in their living rooms, in their backyards, maybe in a forest, maybe by the sea. And we are all here with one purpose, and that is to connect with our star friends and to do it as a community. So from space, to see points of light everywhere on the globe that represent our teams or our individuals who are wanting to make contact, who are wanting to be the way showers of humanity, because there will be other waves that will follow. And it is an honor for you and all that you now see from space joining in. It's an honor to be this major wave that is making contact. From every location now that you see on Earth below you, imagine a beam of light blazing forth all at once, simultaneously. From every location, a beacon going out into space powerfully and sending a welcome of goodwill and love and a desire to communicate to our star friends. Imagine them detecting this, all the civilizations that are visiting here on Earth and beyond, the benevolent, loving ones who with joy see our radiant light and feel our love and connect with us. We ask them to be partners with us in creating the earth, Gaia's golden age. We ask for their help in ways that they can and want to help us achieve this. And we pledge to them as their partner to do our part in raising our consciousness, creating love, and creating the golden age with them. We invite them tonight, today, wherever you are in the world, to make contact with us in ways that are safe, creative, loving, with all our teams. We look forward to that. Thank you, everyone. And now I would like just to talk for a few minutes before we get to the question and answer about the People's Disclosure Movement, the People's Love Alliance, which really form a part of what is called the Great Emergence that is going on at this time, because that is what's happening. We've been having a great awakening, and from that will come now the great emergence of what wants to manifest through us and what we want to manifest on Earth as we enter the golden age, as we build the golden age. Now, the People's Disclosure Movement, because there are a lot of folks that are new on this, I may be repeating some information that you already know, so pardon me for that, but I do want to make sure that everyone is on the same page. It was formed in 2010 when I was contacted by my star friends who had a very simple request. And what their request was, would you help create as many ET contact teams as possible in as many places as possible, as quickly as possible? That would allow them, they told me, to appear in many more places, in many cities, in many different ways. As more humans saw them, then more humans would want to communicate. And that would give them, our star friends, permission to appear in many more places where more humans would see them and give them permission in many more places. So you can see this is an organic growth. They call this a virtuous circle, an iterative circle, where we work with them to spread the contact. This is the People's Disclosure. And I asked them, well, how long do we do this? What's the point? And they said that someday, as we do this process of iterating with them more and more, someday a tipping point would be reached. And that tipping point would happen so that moving forward from that tipping point, no authority, no institutional authority would ever again be able to cover up their presence, because enough of us had had our own experience and we knew the truth. And we went from becoming believers into knowers. So this cover up would no longer be possible. Never mind what's happened in the previous 70 years. This People's Disclosures has been created by us and has been done from person to person, network to network. And that is something that nobody can change. And nobody could tell us that we didn't see what we saw and not what to believe. A People's Disclosure from the grassroots up. That is also the time when the Global CE5 initiative was formed, so that every month, as we did these contact activities, we would build the group field that would keep building this People's Disclosure. And I'm here to tell you that over the 10 years I've been doing this, I've been hearing hundreds, thousands of reports from all of you, and thank you for sending those and for making the contact every month, because it's all been about you, about the community. I often say that there would be nothing for me to facilitate or to organize if nobody bothered to show up. And by the thousands, all of you have been showing up. In the ETLetsTalk community, we have 50,000 people in more than 100 countries who've been making daily, weekly, and monthly contact. So the picture I want to paint for you here is that we've been doing this for 10 years, making the contact, teaching our friends, having our own experiences, knowing what we know, and not bowing to any government and waiting for any prime minister or any president or any premier to make that disclosure announcement. That's irrelevant. The disclosure from any government is irrelevant. They can go ahead and do what they want, tell us as little as they want or as much as they want. Once we have made contact and have taught our friends and created our people's disclosure, we have our authority back. We've taken back our power that we once gave to them. And as we waited on bended knee for them to make that announcement, forget it. We've already done disclosure. And in fact, in 2019, my star friends tell me that the tipping point I was talking about, that would be the result of our united, repeated efforts, was reached. We have achieved the people's disclosure. Moving forward, it is impossible now on earth anywhere for anyone to believe any government and what they say, because we have seen, and just so you know, there's research out there that shows that 1.3 billion, that's billion with a B, adults globally believe that star civilizations exist and that we should be contacting them. You know, that's a sizable chunk of humanity that in theory believes and supports what we do with our contact. 1.3 billion, there's 7.8 billion people on the planet. So roughly 1 out of 7, if I'm doing the math right in my head, of adults globally believes in star civilizations and that we should be contacting them. So we are on the correct wave. We are the way showers, and we have broken through and we have created a people's disclosure. What's important now is to keep the momentum going, because as we continue doing that and teaching people, we are going to bring the day of full open contact closer, because that is what our star friends want. They want us to raise our consciousness, raise our love, work together, get along, and that will make them more acceptable to us when they decide to come to us in larger and larger numbers. So I want to say congratulations. We have had a disclosure, and it's been a people's disclosure. Please spread that news. It's phenomenal, it's fundamental, and it's very profound that we have done this. And kudos to all of you. I didn't do this. You all did. You and your friends joining together. And like I said, this is monumental. I can't say enough about it. We have had disclosure. We just need to tell people about it now. And they will stop giving their energy to waiting for a government to tell them, take your energy that you once put there and keep disclosing, and let's create the golden age that we want with the energy and the power that we once gave away to somebody else. Another thing that was achieved in 2019, I'm told by my star friends, as part of the People's Disclosure Movement, is the non-interference policy that they had been observing before, which kept them from impinging on our free will. That policy has been removed. They now operate with our permission, at our request, to ask them to help us in ways that are positive and loving and powerful. So they are allowed now, and the word interfere is not so good. How about they're allowed to be partners with us, full partners, instead of having to hold back. So I encourage people during our global CE5 events, and whenever it is that you make your contact, to always address them as partners. They have told me in the past to think of them also not as gods, never as gods, but as family, as elder brothers, sisters, and cousins. Someone that you might turn to for advice, who knows a little bit more, who's been on the road a little bit longer, and whom you trust. This is the relationship they want to have with us. And many of us have been building that relationship, and a lot more of us are going to be doing that and continue to do that. So it's a partnership, and I encourage everyone to ask for the healing of the earth, ask for positive things to happen, and ask what they can do to help us, while at the same time taking responsibility for us doing our own work and not expecting them to come down and save us or anything. That's not what they're about. Again, it's a partnership. It's a family working together, our cosmic family and our earthly family. And we are not alone on the earth, as well as we're not alone in the stars. So let's put these two together. And speaking of together, the other part of the People's Disclosure Movement is the People's Love Alliance. And that honors what we as humans are doing on Earth to make things right on Earth. We've got a lot of work to do here. We know that, all the challenges. And it's really, really easy to become despairing and despondent as you watch the mass media reflect a lot of negativity and fear and really crummy things that are going on in the world. And yes, those things are going on. We're not naive. But what we are not being told and and that we have to tell ourselves is the forces for good, the forces of love that are active on the earth at the same time. In fact, that are more powerful than any kind of other force or group that is trying to do terrible things on the planet. The scales have been tipped. The forces of light are active, light and love. We are part of that. We have a responsibility. And it's really a joy to know that we're not alone in building a new earth. And to that point, I want to read from a brochure that I created because, again, my memory's not so great with all of this. And it talks about the People's Love Alliance. The People's Love Alliance is the world's largest and most widespread movement in history, establishing peace, goodwill, and right human relations to heal the earth and her life forms. It is comprised of 1 billion people from all walks of life and distributed across every nation of earth. We humans are cooperating with each other. We are not isolated nor powerless. Countless acts of individual kindness and organized mass acts of healing and love are performed every day, everywhere. This awakening force of 1 billion people, the great emergence of love, needs to be promoted and highlighted in media everywhere. The People's Love Alliance inspires hope in a positive future for our world. So I encourage everyone here, please, not only talk about the People's Disclosure Movement, but the People's Love Alliance, because again, we're not alone. There's 1 billion of us that have are achieving a great emergence of love on the planet. Only most of the time we don't know about each other because the mass media, like I said before, doesn't reflect that. So in order to become part of a media that does reflect that, I encourage people to be that media and spread the good news. But also on Facebook, for those of you who do use Facebook, a group was started by myself and some friends called Good News Every Day. And I encourage people to go there. That's 4 words, Good News Every Day. And there are other groups like this particular group I'm about to describe that you can also find on there. A list has been put as a post on that in that group to show you other sources of good news information. Now, why did we create this? Well, remember I said that the mass media is not telling us the news that how many of us there are out here who really want to get along, who really want to use love, who want to unify, not divide, who want a better planet, who want to do so much better than what we've been doing, and who are willing to do the work. So the Good News Everyday group inspires its members to share good news of human acts of kindness, of love, any place where something bad was made better. We share on that site. We just started in January, and I want to give a shout out to my admins there who've been doing a tremendous job of interacting with new people that are coming onto the site there. That would be Kat, Ian, and Melanie. Shout out to all of you for the good work you're doing. And again, the whole idea is let's become the good news media. Let's show that the People's Love Alliance is alive. Let's clean up the negative vibes that are in the etheric atmosphere of the earth by injecting good news, which neutralizes the bad news. Someday there will be tons of good news floating around here, but we have to start somewhere. So ourselves, and Good News Every Day, and other groups. Some of them, one of them is called Positive News. I've forgotten the titles of others, but they're listed there. We are making these first efforts to show what's working on the planet, to show that 99.9% of humans really, we all want the same things, is to get along, to thrive, to be creative, to have love, to have peace, justice, everyone fed, everyone housed, everyone healthy. We can have all these things. And the truth is we are working together, but we need to start voicing it and telling each other this because it inspires us and nurtures us every morning. I know when I sign on in the morning to Good News Every Day, I read the posts that are there, and it's like fuel. Even before I have my physical breakfast, I fill my soul, my heart with some of the good news, and it uplifts me and just puts me in the right frame of mind to start my day. So I encourage people to come there, Good News Every Day, and to start creating your own good news. Join the group there, post it, and let's become that media. Let's assert ourselves as the People's Love Alliance that we are, and we are in huge numbers, and we're going to win the day. So that is the news about the great emergence, and that's love. Having said all that, then, I believe we can get started with a little bit of what I promised, some questions and answers, Q&A. For most of you, many of you, there should be a hand, little icon at the bottom of your screen there, which allows you to raise your hand, and hopefully I will see it here on my list and I can talk with you. If you don't see that and you have a participants list of people who are on the call, there's off to the right a button called More and a little menu below it, which allows you to raise your hand there. So from what we've learned is from one computer to another, the raise your hand icon is in different places. So I've given you a couple of the places that I know of. And if you want to raise your hand and talk, then that's what you do. And hopefully I will see it and that we'll have enough time to be able to chat. So I encourage you, if you have a question about what I've been talking about, or just want to say hello to me. Also, by the way, you can do this in the chat box. My friend Kat, that I mentioned before, has asked that if you do have a question there, to get her attention, could you put it all in capital letters? And that way it'll stand out from other comments. She'll be able to cut and paste your question and then pass it along to me so that I'm aware of it. It's hard for me to watch all the messages going by on chat. So thank you, Kat, for doing that. So yeah, you can interact here with Kat by typing or raising your hand. And having said all that, I'll be quiet and wait for someone to want to say something. Oh, by the way, you can also share good news. Not only do I want to hear about your great ET contact experiences, and I ask you to keep them brief, like 2 or 3 minutes at the most, in order to be fair and give other people a chance. But also, if you have good news of something you know that is going on that is amazing and wonderful, that is uplifting and healing, that other people may not have heard about, that's another great story to share. So, okay.
With that, I saw Maria's hand go up.
Okay, I'm going to look for Marie's hand. There it is, yes. Marie, are you there?
Yes, I have been doing Zoom in this COVID rabid and had to learn how to cope in this. Going through many transitions like caterpillars and into the Kristen pupil state as I'm raising a farm of blue-tailed, swallowtail butterflies, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through a lot of transition. I learned through Tai Chi a certain form of, as I proceeded, enlightenment, auras. It took almost 6 months as it grew, like change, and I really started practicing it. Now, sadly, I did lose my husband. If you ever followed my blogs, and I've had and I think the corona has been quite the transition. But my first time when I found this group, I'm only a CE1. I have seen twice in my lifespan 2 UFOs, no other mental contact. So I have been developing when I can drag my blanket outside in the big city light and try to connect. And I'm excited today because now I didn't know if it'd be inappropriate to break off of your group because you're the one I started following, but I've always been into Ancient Aliens and the Dr. Stephen Greer, and he developed an app. And through that app, I sat there and contacted, and I'd get a couple, that we're all new to this app, and it doesn't bing or ping. But I found Texas CE5 website, and now I'm so excited. My vibrations are like, if I
Okay.
was just excited, I get to go to my first CE5 group with 45 people if the roads haven't been flooded out. And I'm going to travel very, very far and get to do one of these excursions. So I hope that's not inappropriate to break, that's Dr. Greer's, but we're all part of the connection and the love. And I want to mentally connect and learn how to like keep zooming out globally and leave my body and kind of keep panning out, and going
Okay.
into the galaxy. Wish me luck,
Well, of
everyone.
course, and you will connect. You're already there. Your spirit is high, and if you're going to be with 45 other people who've done this before, you'll do
Yeah.
fine. One thing I wanted to mention. Thank you for bringing this up. If any of you out there is part of this session right now, where we're talking with each other, if you have a group or you're looking for a group, and all you want to do is just raise your hand and say, "Hi, I'm Bob from Poughkeepsie. Is there anyone nearby? Here's my email." You can give it out right here, very briefly, and that way anybody else who's on the call or anybody who sees the archived version of this, because it will be seen, will then see you and get your email and maybe contact you. So we can use this as an opportunity to connect with each other. So thank you very much, Marie. That is a wonderful start for you. Good luck. Great contact is what I always say.
Yes.
So let me go to Cynthia here.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, hello. Hello, Kosta, and thank you so much for all the very encouraging information you just gave today. And it's such a joy to be a part of this meeting. Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome.
Well, my name is Cynthia. Just to present myself a bit, I'm 46 years old. I'm French Canadian originally, and I'm very happy to meet all of you here. About my little story, well, like many of you, from an early age, I was interested in everything that came from space. When I could contemplate the starry sky, I always had this deep feeling that I came from another planet or another universe, and I'm sure lots of you felt the same way. In certain moments of difficulties experienced in the past, I could see, just as you mentioned, Costa, earlier, lights in the skies, which move very quickly, with this afterthought impression of having been reinforced when I saw those lights, and this was a great feeling. And also, I very often had this vision of three large luminous beings who observed me at some times and who transmitted to me by the thought that I was not alone and that I was going to find my true family. And this could sound bizarre, but it happened. This is something that has come true. 22 years ago, after my university studies, when I wanted to clarify my spiritual path and orientate myself in a direction that would connect me to my cosmic dimension. And this had become a priority for me. And my research led me to discover first a comic strip called Timeless Voyage. I don't know if you know about this book. It is downright brilliant. I totally recommend this book because of all the information it reveals. It's so accurate. And so this comic book gradually led me to meet those from whom this comic strip was created, and who at the time they were called the Timeless Travelers. And they are basically a crew of researchers, creators, who not only live every day, they study the unitary science of the intra-universe. Not only they study it, but they live by it every day, by the principles taught in this book. And to quickly put a definition on it, the unitary science of the intra-universe, it is a work of 6 1,000 pages in which new answers are given to fundamental questions such as the origin of incarnation, end of human life, what dreams are, the cause of disease, the cause of death, the origins of extraterrestrial presences, and above all, the origin of all operating programs of the universe, which are controlled from the internal unitary weave. And this was a concept that I didn't know about, and I truly learned a lot with this. This work was received telepathically by IJP Appelgary, the founder of all the teachings that I've been following since 22 years. And he received this from his contacts with super terrestrial consciousnesses. He achieved a telepathic connection with his superior level of consciousness energy at a very young age, and this gave him the possibility to acquire a precise inner initiatic guidance. And so all this to say that I discovered that with these teachings and its precise meditations and its exercises, which help us to better perceive the currents of energies and to better understand them and to learn how we can manage all these currents of energy within us and around us, well, I realized that it allowed me to considerably improve my capacity of telepathic contact with these dimensions, which, you know, those dimensions that are watching over us in those vessels of consciousness energy, or whatever we call them, and those dimensions have messages for us to help us in our evolution. And I think what you just mentioned today, Kosta, is coming from such a level of consciousness energy. And I have experimented with time that the more we are able to master all the aspects of ourselves that can rise up in confusion when a beam of consciousness approaches us, well, the more we are happy and in harmony in our life, and the stronger, intense, and precise the telepathic contact with higher dimensions can be made. So
Cynthia,
this,
could you conclude, please? I have a lot of.
oh yes, oh
I'm
sorry, yes,
sorry.
I'm concluding,
I want to be
yes.
fair to everybody.
Of course,
Thank you.
I didn't realize that I was talking too long. Yes, so in short, if you want to know more about this evolutionary path, I invite you to a presentation that I will give next Saturday. And I'm leaving in the comment section the information. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Could everyone make sure that they are muted? I think we're okay now. Yeah, thank you for that information. And I'm sure if everyone has been watching the backgrounds, mesmerized by all the animations there, like I have been, just beautiful and evocative. Okay, moving right along. Let me talk to Joe here. Joe Goodman. Can you hear me, Joe?
Hi, Kosta.
Hello.
Hi there. How are you going?
We are fine. I think it's the early hours for you, right?
It is. It's now 3:48 a.m. in Tasmania, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I always, when I'm contacting our star friends, I say, it's Joe here from Cygnet, Southern Tasmania, Southern Australia, Southern Hemisphere. So it's lovely to be here. Thank you to you and to Hollis and to Kat, who are always always working to have us all contact each other and our star families, and creating such great initiatives as the Good News Everyday site, which is absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And has personally got me through a few hard times. So we really appreciate you. I know Jilly's here too from our little group, CE5 Tasmania. So hello, Jilly. I know you're there because you just said hello to me. And we were just talking tonight about you, Kosta. I hope your ears were burning in a good way, because we were just saying how wonderful it is to have a leader like you in the community who's very approachable and, you can actually connect with and talk to and with, and how wonderful that is. We actually had a CE5 meeting tonight. We had a new member there. Tonight it was great because the Bureau of Meteorology forecast was for rain, and it was very cloudy when everyone arrived. We all gathered at 4:45 p.m., which is early, but the sun goes down very quickly here at this time of year. So we had to get set up before the sun went down. So we all arrived early, did our usual. We had our little potluck dinner and get to know each other around the table, and then we have dessert and coffee.
How big is your group, Joe?
Tonight we had I think there were 6 of us all together.
Mm-hmm.
So one more than usual, and he travelled a long way. He came from the top of Tasmania to the bottom of Tasmania to be with us tonight. And he was, you know, a bit disabled too, because he'd had a back operation, and they accidentally punctured his lumbar with a...
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he was on crutches, and so
You
we
know
did
that
ask...
what a sense of commitment to be in
I
that kind
know,
of probably
amazing.
pain and hurt, and still to make the drive to join all of you. That
Exactly, and we weren't even sure that we were going out because it's cold at the moment. You know, it snowed for the first time the other day. Not actually down here on the ground in Cygnet, but on our mountaintops it snowed. So it's been very cold, and yeah, no, it was an amazing commitment to come. And we have another member of our group who travels 110 kilometres each way to make it. So yeah,
well,
we had a...
someday I hope that there are so many people doing this that people don't have to even travel. They can, you know, walk to their nearest CE5. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I do.
It'll happen, but thank you. I need to move on.
Okay, thank you, Kosta.
Yeah, I'm trying to be fair to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to finally talk to you anyway, though.
It's nice to see you finally. I've seen your picture on Facebook, but now it's moving and talking. So,
Yeah. Well, this is the 3:45 a.m. face, so you know.
oh, you're doing fine. A whole lot better than I would be. I'd be barely able to put words together. And thank you for all the people that I send to you who are from, you know, from Oz and nearby, that you always welcome very nicely and help and all that. You're a great gatekeeper there. So I've
Thank you.
appreciated you doing that. You know.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Joe. How about Kevin? Let me give you.
Hi, Costa.
Oh, there you are. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm fine. How are you? It's nice to see you in person, and thank you for the invite. I do appreciate it. So
Yeah.
I've been following you for a while now. I'm not quite sure who introduced me, but I think it's fascinating to have such a global group that you have. I'm an experience of the age of 8. I had 2 beings materialize in my bathroom when I was 8 years old.
In your
They
bathtub.
were, yeah, in my bathroom. Yes, I was having a bath. And 2 beings materialized in the bathroom. Their names are Orton D. They frightened me to death at the time, but I've been in contact with them all my life, and I'm now 66, and I've been in contact with a group of 8 ETs all my life from the age of 14. So quite a lot of experience there. And I haven't, I never spoke about my experiences until a few years ago. Orton D materialized in my bedroom this time in the middle of the night. I'd got up to go to the bathroom when I came back from the bathroom, and there was a bright light outside the window. The light came in through the window, lit up the whole bedroom like a myriad of butterflies, and Orton D materialized again at the bottom of the bed. I'm used to seeing them. Obviously, I've been seeing them now for, I'll say about 58 years now. So I'm used to seeing them. So after the pleasantries, I asked the reason for their visit, and they said they wanted me to talk about my lifelong interaction with them. They wanted me to write about my interaction with them. So a couple of years ago, I started speaking out about my interactions with them, and now I speak to many groups. I go to C5s.
Oh.
I don't have my own C5 group, but I do speak to groups all over. and I've been asked to talk at some conferences as well. I'm sure I'm still being guided. I know I am, but they are here. They're here all the time. And I know that some people, we're all at different levels of understanding. So I'm sure that with the CE5, it will expand our consciousness together. And I know that, I think you've already mentioned this, that they want to co-create with us using shared consciousness. And we have the ability to do that. And we just have to raise that vibrational frequencies. And I'm pleased that you said there's 1.3 billion of us now globally. I will share that number and figure, and I'm sure it will grow exponentially. Exciting times ahead. I'm very positive for the future. So I'd like to thank you for all the work that you're doing. It's just tremendous. Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome, and thank you for being part of it and sharing this story now with people. This is the first I'd heard of it too, so it's really encouraging and inspirational.
I do have a website if people want to have a look at it. All the information is on there. There's several interviews and things, and the website is just Kevin J. That's just the initial J. KevinJBriggs.com, and there's lots of information on there that I've put out, the interviews and other things. So if anybody's interested, they can go there and have a look.
Okay, and the Briggs, I should say, is it's 2 G's, B-R-I-G.
2 G's, yes, that's correct.
What location are you in?
I'm in Florida.
Okay. Do you know our buddy?
I'm from the UK, and I moved to Florida 20 years ago. Okay. So but there's quite a large number of people here. I go to a couple of meetings in Florida here, and 20, 30 people there, all experiences, and I meet with others. I meet with another indigenous Indian group. I did a talk at a conference on a reservation last year, and they're just amazing people. They understand all this anyway.
Yes, they do.
Their culture, it's who they are.
All over the world, the native people.
All over the world, yes. So it's amazing to see this and everybody coming together as a global community. So, as I say, exciting times ahead.
Yeah, well put. Thank you. That's very eloquent. Thank you, Kevin. And I hope I'm pronouncing your name okay, but is it Kundinya? Kundinya? You're in India, I believe.
Yes, sir, correct. You pronounced it accurately. Yes, Kaundinya. Correct, sir.
Okay. Yeah, welcome. Nice to hear from you.
Hi, Mr. Gus, and hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm really happy and see you all like-minded people who are interested in about ETs or truth. My name is Kaundinya. I'm 34. I'm from India. Actually, I don't have any experience with any aliens or UFOs, but my interest started. I consider myself a spiritual person than religious. My interest started in 2016 July. I came across Alien Interview book, edited by Lawrence R. Spencer. I think most of you know about it. Then I started reading books like Michael Sella, Galactic Diplomacy, Alex Collier, lot of books on some abduction related books, reincarnation, lot of things. Now I'm holding this Alien World Order by Len Castin.
Okay.
Alien World Order by Len Castin.
Okay.
So I don't know, it is something within me. I'd like to have one experience, not with bad aliens like Grace or Andromedans. I don't know, it is within me that I want to be part of something, and I want to experience something. I started my blog, cosmicgenes.blogspot.com, where I'm posting about whatever knowledge I gain through reading these about UFOs, aliens.
May I ask, are you trying CE5 protocol at all to make your own contact? Have you tried, or will you, or do you want
this
to?
Is my first time. I'm here for first time.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions, you can always contact people here, because all of us.
I want to ask you one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm reading through all these about the interviews of those are channelers. What you say, channelers, abductions. Oh, why it is USA or some part of European people? Why it is not happening within India? or some other Asian countries, why nobody is talking about these stuff here? People, because my people, whenever I talk about these things, people think I'm crazy here.
I
So
don't, you know what? I don't know the answer to that because I've not lived in India and there may be other people. I know I have had some CE5 teams. In fact, if you go on Facebook, excuse me, and you put in CE5 in India, I think you may find one or two groups that you can join there. I'm not sure where they're located, but at least you could start a conversation. And it will have a couple of benefits. One, you will meet like-minded people there in your country. And two, they may help you answer the question you just asked me, because I don't know the answer to that. I wish it were different. I wish there was an interest there. And maybe it will happen in time. But I would love to know, because obviously in the spiritual literature of your country, the ancient visitations by gods are thought to have been visits by extraterrestrials, right? And then there are, I forgot the name of the machines that are that are flying. I think that it's in the Vedas or whatever. So there is a tradition in your country.
Vimanas.
That is a mystery to me why it would not be more acceptable.
Yeah. No, everyone is talking about Anunnakis, about Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, Moses, everything. What about Indian history? So was the alien connection with the Indian history? I didn't got connected properly. Actually.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be that you are part of a generation that will introduce, that will be the one that starts and be part of the interest that will change your society to be more interested.
I'm thinking so, because I'm planning to write a book also. I've published few books on astrology. I'm good at astrology. I'm a pursuing psychologist too. I don't know. People think I have very weird interest. My family members think I have very weird interest. I said I'm gifted.
You know what? You're not alone. A lot of us are thought of as weird and have been. I have seen an evolution of opening up in the United States in my own life in the last few decades, where it is now more acceptable to talk about this topic, about ETs, star people, as well as other paranormal things, psychic abilities, astral travel.
Can I ask you one more thing? Do you think the agreement of ET with the American government or Russian government is the reason for you people have this kind of knowledge about extraterrestrials? This not with other Asian countries. That is why we don't have anything about these abductions or all these knowledge. Do you think the same way?
I'm not sure I understand the question. You mentioned the government.
Yes, the ET connection with agreement with the Eisenhower government.
I don't know.
President Eisenhower,
Oh,
Harry Truman.
there are a lot of
Yeah.
people that talk about that. I'm not particularly well versed on that, so I can't comment because I've not studied that. I've heard about that, and
Okay.
probably know people who have more information. So sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to give an opinion on something I'm somewhat ignorant about, because I'll probably be wrong. Let me move on here, and thank you very much.
Finally, please everyone, you go to my blog cosmicgenes.blogspot.com. I will post here, and my Telegram channel about UFOs, aliens, so that we can be connected together. So I have posted whatever the knowledge I have gained through reading, so that we can share whatever we have. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for speaking up. And I think in order to stay close to the 1 hour that I promised here, I can take one more connection, one more person here. I see someone that's just iPhone guest, but I will ask you to unmute if you can and announce yourself, and then we'll close up after that.
Hi, this is Gary.
Hi, Gary. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm going to hold on a second. I have to figure out this thing, how to put on my, how do you put on the video thing here? I'm trying to figure, here it is right here. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm in Florida, and it was really, really great to see you and all the people that are involved in this. And I just love listening to Kevin. Just really good to be here. What I think is every month, I think you should probably do this on a monthly Global CE5 all the time. As you're like the football coach, you know, like get the team all ready to play tonight. We're all getting ready. We're all hooking up and talking amongst each other. And let's get outside now tonight. And we're all, yeah, the pep rally. Let's all get hooked up tonight. And I'm going to be telling them to come and see you over there. And you're going to tell them to come and see me. And we're going to hook up everyone that we've been talking to. And we're going to have ourselves really a great time tonight. So, you know, I get all excited. And what I wanted to say is, you know, I've done groups for now 3 years, and probably I've done group probably 50 times. But we've had some incredible experiences, and that just, I haven't even heard other people discuss some of the things that we've had and we've seen in the last 3 years. One night, well, I had 2 chimillas, and I had 9 or 10 people were here, and we had a potluck dinner, and we had clam chowder, and it was cold, and the fires were going, and everyone was outside sitting around the chimillas, and they were all covered in blankets and getting all ready. And I went inside to grab my tea and to get my laser. And then I went back outside, and somebody grabbed me and said, I just saw a flash, and I know it wasn't a plane, and it was right over the trees. And I said, well, I think they're here, because I was running the app for a while in the house. So I bent over to put some stuff into the fire in one of the chimillas, and then all of a sudden I could see the 2 lights pop over right next to Polaris, to the east of Polaris. And they were coming really fast, and they were really bright. And you never see 2 of anything doing that. And right away I could feel it. I could feel my body start to come up, and my vibrations start to raise. We hadn't started a meditation. We hadn't done anything. I just walked outside, and the excitement among everyone, they were coming at us, and I just yelled. I said, here they are, ET's here. They're right there. And I pointed up in the sky, and as soon as they got over us, and I mean, they were really booking. As soon as they got over us, the 2 lights turned into 3. Right over our head, they stopped. We saw the 3rd light go on, and then all of a sudden, everyone yells the triangle, and we're grabbing for cameras and video camera. I grabbed for my camera, and all of a sudden, all these lights started to spin like a bunch of crazy bees, and then they turned into this beautiful 5-sided pyramid, a pyramid just built in the sky, upside down. And it was rotating around and around like a top that was on the table, ready to fall over. And it was starting to wobble and wobble. And we watched it, and then all of a sudden, one of the lights went on real bright orange, and like brighter than Mars, and then real bright, and then it just disappeared. And it was so bright. And then I got the telepathic message that told me that they were the ones that did crop circles, and then they said adios, and we were all laughing and screaming. Everyone was yelling.
Wow.
I mean, it was just so wild. And then that night, right after that happened, that was to the south. They went right over us to the south, and it went right into Orion. This was in the wintertime. And we saw the flash from the ship later on, and a little while later, maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, we were communicating with a ship that was stationary for at least 30 minutes. And there were 9 or 10 of us that were watching this. And I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. I remember taking people to their cars, and we were still communicating with these beings that were just sitting up into the sky. It was very, very late.
My God, when I talk about having a relationship, all of you have quite the relationship there. That is a dramatic encounter.
It was choreographed. It was choreography. Nobody
Yeah.
could ever have done anything. It's impossible for you to even comprehend to see a show like that. That's just something that is impossible. And you know, here our science is now magic, you know. And I mean, I've had dozens and dozens of incredible experiences, and I have a relationship with the beings where every time I'm out, whether it's to go for a walk with the dogs, feed the dogs at night, I go out for a break when I'm painting, and I have experiences, and I'm just, my gratitude pours out to them every day, you know, and your gratitude is what you ride on, you know, and your intent and your love and your passion to share that with others. They appreciate it, and they let you know, you know, they want you to know that they appreciate you.
Yeah. That's great. I hope I'm going to take you up on that idea. I had been thinking about it anyway, of doing these every month. So thank you for sharing this month, and I look forward to feeling your excitement. And
Oh, I can't wait to be out tonight. Last night was great. They had a couple of ships last night that went by to say hello, and a couple of bright flashes, and then those little dim flashes that go off where they creep away and then they just disappear. And we had a couple of those and a couple of flybys. And it's just every time, every night, all the time, it's just so fantastic, and no airplanes.
Well, yeah, especially these days, there's far less
Yeah.
airplanes. I want to come live in your backyard. Except it's Florida.
You're going to come and visit me. I'm going to come and visit you too. I can't wait.
Well, bring them with you. Okay, thank
I
you.
will. I'm going to send them over to them. I want my guys to see you, and I want you to send some of your guys over. We got to share our friends. I always send them over to Ireland, to John over to Ireland, and to other people that I know, and over to Ashley over in Cape Town. I want people. I want to share with John Keel and Jimmy Blanchett. I want these people to know my friends.
It sounds like they already do. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Gary. I will be ending right now. I don't see any other raised hands anyway. Unless, Kat, you tell me there's a burning question there that I can address or some comment like within just a minute or two, then if not, I'll just close.
No, I didn't see any other raised hands and nobody typed a question that I could see.
Okay.
But if you mind, I'd like to finish on what Gary was just saying about the love and appreciation, and how we're going to circle back to what you started with, which was the messages that were received from the STAR teachers. And in my experience, it was all about giving love and gratitude that caused me to have a healing. And then once you start practicing it every day, other things happen, like having these sightings. And mine aren't just lights in the sky. I had one pop up over my house. I mean, a big one, like the size of the Goodyear blimp. So I think it's important to stay in that state of love and gratitude, appreciation for everything, everyone. And that's what helps to increase all of your experience, your psychic experiences, your intuition, and to have more things happening around you that are maybe not the norm in CE5, because contact happens in many, many ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because it does circle back to what we started with, and what's always true, which is the higher our vibrations are, and however we manage to positively achieve those and stay there, not only is our life going to be better, our human life, but as what you're saying is our cosmic life will also expand, and it'll become seamless someday, So thank you for that, Kat. That's remarkable. And I look forward to more of your stories or experiences the next time too. So folks, I'm going to wrap it up now, because about an hour-ish is good. And we'll be doing this again every month. The date will vary, but I'll be publicizing it. This particular broadcast will be archived if all has gone well with Zoom here. And I'll make an announcement of where people can find it. So I want to thank everybody again for showing up, for sharing your time and your experiences with us. And please tell all your friends that this community meeting is going on and will continue to go on, because we all have stories and we all become more powerful and inspired when we hear what's been happening to others. And it is such a diversity of experiences. I can't even make some of this stuff up, but I'm all ears and I'm listening. So thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing. And great contact to all of you. Okay. Take care. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.